There's chaos, likely due to a home invasion or attack. The house appears damaged or under siege, and we see sizzle, suggesting that electricity or some supernatural power is in play. A man screams, "Ark!" Someone is clearly being tortured or attacked. A desperate couple lies on the ground, and one of them pleads, Please give us just one more month." They're likely being threatened over unpaid debt. The antagonist, smug and ruthless, replies, "If you borrow somebody's money, you better pay it back, even if you gotta sell an organ or two, don't you think?" This shows the antagonist's extreme cruelty and disregard for human life. He continues, holding a glowing fist near one of them, saying, "Maybe you need to feel some pain to understand how I feel when I don't get my money back." He's threatening physical harm to make a point about repayment. A distressed-looking woman is tapping her phone screen quickly, possibly trying to call for help or record something. But this man notices her actions and appears angry or suspicious. The man aggressively yanks the phone out of her hand. Two other people in the background look alarmed and react to his move. The man mocks her, saying, "What's this? You calling the cops or something?" Still smirking, he continues, "I'm telling you it's no use." This implies he feels untouchable, like even if she tried to report him, it wouldn't matter. He looks at the phone, confused, and says, "Huh." The scene opens with a phone screen showing unanswered texts from a son to his parent, asking why they aren't picking up and where they are. The mother tries to reply, typing "Don't come home," but fails. The villain then cruelly proposes that instead of dealing with things violently, the victims should straighten things out with their son, implying that the son is involved or being used as leverage. Panic erupts as the captors forcefully restrain the family, and the mother cries out in horror, "No, not our son." It becomes clear that the family is being held hostage and their son is in danger. The villain then instructs his henchmen to silence the family so they don't make a sound, and adds in a twisted tone, "We wouldn't want their son to be scared," revealing his manipulative cruelty. Then sequence begins with a boy walking quietly toward his home, seemingly unaware of the danger lurking inside. The lighting and shadows emphasize the calm before the storm. He appears emotionally distant or perhaps uneasy. As he approaches the door and unlocks it with a soft clack, the perspective shifts to someone inside, a woman who is tied up and gagged, her eyes wide with terror as she silently pleads, "Please no." The creaking sound of the door opening, Greek, heightens the tension as we realize the boy is walking straight into a trap. The next panel reveals a chilling interior scene. Multiple masked captors lie in wait. Hidden in the dark corners of the house, the boy, silhouetted in the doorway, is unknowingly stepping into a nightmare. Then this young man enters his home carrying groceries. He appears calm and unaware of what's happening inside. As he walks in, the atmosphere is quiet but tense. He's unknowingly heading toward a confrontation. Without warning, he is attacked, possibly by someone hiding in the apartment. He is struck hard across the head with a blunt object, likely a bat or pipe, and blood sprays from the impact. His mother is tied up, gagged, and watching in horror, her eyes widen, showing she's terrified by what just happened. Despite the blow, the young man fights back. He grabs the weapon and slams it directly into the attacker's face, delivering a powerful counterattack. The attacker is thrown back violently and hits the ground hard. The perspective suggests a decisive blow, possibly knocking him unconscious. A man previously confident now looks horrified as blood gushes from his face. He realizes something is very wrong. The same man, now visibly battered and terrified, sees the young man, the protagonist, standing amidst a glowing aura or dramatic lighting, indicating a power-up or transformation. Realizing they're in danger, the thug orders the other men to attack. Multiple henchmen rush in to overwhelm the protagonist. The protagonist dodges and counters. He lands a powerful hit, likely breaking bones. Another thug attacks but is swiftly countered. The protagonist retaliates with a brutal blow. One of the enemies cries out in agony as the protagonist continues his assault with speed and precision. This manga panel sequence showcases intense, fast-paced hand-to-hand combat. Then manga panel sequence showcases intense, fast-paced hand-to-hand combat. The young fighter on the left grabs another man's leg midair during a kick, catching him off guard, as indicated by the speech bubble. This demonstrates quick reflexes and complete control. He then uses the momentum to slam his opponent with a powerful spinning kick to the gut or ribs, creating a strong impact. In another rapid movement, one of the men is seen being lifted, possibly into a chair or object, before being smashed headfirst into the floor or a hard surface, accompanied by the BAM sound effect and a blood splatter. clearly indicating a brutal takedown. The attacker's dominance is visually emphasized through dramatic angles and motion lines. Next, the protagonist gives a deadly glare, his face bloodied, but his expression calm and intense. The glowing eyes and red-tinted lighting emphasize his lethal aura and composure, even amidst chaos. A thug witnesses this glare and is visibly shocked and afraid, likely realizing he's completely outmatched. Suddenly, that same person is smashed brutally through a wall or object with a crash, covered in blood. The motion blur and explosive impact effects suggest the protagonist is moving with overwhelming force. The villain watches in terror as the scene unfolds before him, shouting, "What's going on?" Then the villain, with a menacing expression, grabs a woman, possibly threatening her life. He says, "We'll see how tough you are when your parents fixin' to die," implying he's using the woman as leverage or a hostage against her son. Just as the attacker thinks he has the upper hand, the younger male character intervenes violently. There's a loud smash as the attacker is hit so hard that he's launched backward into the wall. The woman and her husband look shocked, indicating they didn't expect such a powerful counterattack. The attacker is thrown into a wall, possibly breaking through it. He's severely injured, coughing, clutching his neck and crying out for help. Cough. My neck, see call 911. His face is bloodied and embedded in the wall. A voice echoes in the dark hallway filled with unconscious or dead bodies, showing the carnage caused by the main character. The devastation indicates a one-sided battle, with the protagonist standing tall amidst the chaos. The young man looks battered and bloodied but determined. His face reflects pain, exhaustion, and anger. He finds his mother and father tied up and gagged. This confirms the earlier tension. They were hostages, and his violent outburst was to save them. Sianu mutters to himself, "If you didn't want me to fight, you shouldn't have been so poor." This line is powerful and bitter. It suggests that the violence and trauma he experienced stem from poverty. He was forced to fight because society left him and his family vulnerable. Sianu collapses beside his family, finally giving in to exhaustion. The sound effects indicate multiple ambulances rushing to a hospital, signaling a major emergency. The building features a glowing green cross, clearly identifying it as a medical center. Inside, it's pure mayhem. Doctors and nurses are overwhelmed. Patients are screaming in pain, and multiple individuals are being treated simultaneously. The situation is critical. 2 staff members, possibly doctors or hospital administrators, are shown discussing the chaos in disbelief. One asks, "What's with all this chaos?" The other replies, "Apparently, a kid took down 10 loan sharks because they were beating up his dad." She adds, "And he's only a high schooler." Upon hearing this, the man looks shocked. Injured loan shark boss orders a hit, while lying bruised and bandaged in a hospital bed. A furious gang boss shouts, "Find that kid and kill him right now." This line highlights how humiliated and threatened he feels after Sianu's attack. His underling tries to calm him down, revealing that the kid, Sianu, was also brought to the same hospital, and that he's already taken steps to deal with him. He adds ominously, "I just sent Big Bear after him, so the kid is as good as dead." Another man reacts with surprise and worry. The implication is clear: Big Bear is dangerous, likely a powerful and deadly enforcer. Hospital staff locate Sianu's room. A man rushes to find Sianu's location. A nurse checks and says, "He's in room 202. But before she can finish, the man dashes off immediately. The last image shows the man sprinting full speed through the hospital corridor, heading towards Sianu's room. Sure, here's a simplified and engaging explanation you can use to explain this manga panel to someone. Especially for a YouTube audience, we see a clear escalation. Sianu's life is in real danger. A mysterious man, possibly from an underground fight circuit, rushes through the hospital, but instead of being concerned, man curious, maybe even excited. Why? Because someone named Big Bear is on the move. Big Bear isn't just any thug, he's a top-tier fighter, a monster being scouted for major fights. The guy rushing through the hospital isn't here to help Sianu. He's here to witness a possible bloodbath, to see if Big Bear is strong enough for the big leagues. As the man reaches room 202, Sianu's room, he admits he feels a little bad for the kid, knowing he's probably about to get crushed. That's cold. And then boom, we see Big Bear himself, a massive, terrifying man built like a tank, towering over Sianu's bed. The doom sound effect says it all. Sianu, already hurt, now faces a brutal opponent, and he might be completely outmatched. Sianu Kang is badly hurt, but now he's face to face with Big Bear, a massive, terrifying fighter who's been sent to finish him off. Big Bear doesn't take it seriously at first. He thinks, why did they call me just to beat up some kid? And casually says, nothing personal. Kid, but I've got a job to do. Clearly, he sees this as just business. But then he notices something strange. Keanu isn't scared at all. No trembling, no fear in his eyes. That surprises Big Bear. He's probably used to people being terrified of him, but not this time. And how does Keanu respond? No words. No backing down. He rips off his hospital gown and gets ready to fight, even while injured. That moment shows his inner strength and determination. The panel ends with a "to be continued," teasing an epic battle in the next chapter.